Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra Unit 6 review. Remember to show all your work and to circle your answers. Alright, let's go ahead and get started looking at number 1. So, with problems like this, what we want to do is multiply the coefficients and then add the exponents. So, 5 times 6 is 30. And then adding the exponents, 8 plus 7 is 15. Number 2, we need to distribute, but before we distribute, we have to remember we're doing it to everything. So I gave everything an exponent. So first we distribute, and when we distribute, we multiply. So 1 times 3 is 3. 7 times 3 is 21. And once again, 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, if you notice, the bases stayed the same. But now we need to simplify because we know what 3 cubed is. 3 cubed is 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27, and everything else stays the same. Okay, just like number 2, number 3, we need to distribute the 5. Sorry about that. To everything. And when we distribute, we multiply. So C and D, those stay. 4 times 5 is 20, and 5 times 6 is 30. Now, at any point you think you can do these, just go ahead and pause the video, try them on your own, and then you can see how you did. Okay? Now, number 4, we want to know who wins. Does the top or the bottom win? Well, there are more y's on the bottom. Okay, so we subtract those. Everything on the top cancels, and we're left with a 1. And on the bottom, we have y 17. All right, finally, negative exponents. If your exponent's negative, you drop it like it's hot. If it's already on the bottom, you bring it to the top. Okay, so we brought the 2 to the first up. X7 was there, and then we brought up y to the 9th. On the bottom, we brought down 4 squared and a y cubed. Okay? So 2 to the first is really what? 2. 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16. So now we can do our final step, which is to reduce the fraction, and 2 over 16 is 1/8. Y cubed stays down, and I'm going to put the variables in alphabetical order. And if you need to sing the ABCs, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Okay? The only thing that's different is we don't need that 1 there, so you can take it out, or you can leave it in. All right? Number 6. When your exponent 0, your base turns into 1. Okay, we have some negative exponents, so we're going to drop it like it's hot. And if it's already on the bottom, we're going to bring it to the top. So we get a negative 32 n to the 5th, and then we brought up n to the 5th m cubed. On the bottom, we have an 8, and then we brought down m to the 8th. Okay? So let's reduce the fraction. Negative 32 divided by 8 gives us negative 4 over 1. I'm not sure if I need that 1 there or not right now. Okay, alphabetical order, let's look at the m's. We have more m's on the bottom. We have 5 more. And then we can combine the n's, which gives us n to the 10th. We can't do anything else, so that's our final answer. And the 1, you don't need it, but you can keep it there. Whatever floats your boat. All right, number 8. Now, if you know how to do the kitty corner reducing, you can do that here, okay? I'm just going to multiply straight across because that's what we were teaching in class. Okay, so I'm going to take the calculator out because we have negative 12 times negative 21, which gives us me a positive 252. And then we have n to the 6th, y to the 8th. On the bottom, 7 times 4 is 28. And remember, if they don't have an exponent, they have an exponent of 1. So I have n to the 6th, y to the 1st. So the first thing I want to do is reduce that fraction. So I have 252 divided by 28, which gives me 9. Okay, so 9 goes on the top. My 6's, well, the 6's cancel out. And then looking at the y's, the top wins, and the top wins by 7. So there we go. Nothing's on the bottom. Your final answer is 9y to the 7th. All right, number 9. The first thing I see about number 9 is division. When we have division, we want to multiply by the reciprocal. So we have to flip that second fraction. So we have negative 2w9 x to the negative 2nd over 3w negative 2x to the 5th. I'm actually going to move this. Sorry that you guys can't do the same thing like that. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I'm flipping, so the gray is going to come on top and then the blue is going to go down to the bottom. So we 5w negative 4x11 and 6w negative 3x cubed. Okay, so all we're going to do is multiply straight across. Negative 2 times 5 gives us negative 10. W9 and W negative 4, we add those and we get W to the 5th. X negative 2 and X11, we get X to the 9th. On the bottom, 3 times 6 gives us 18. Let's make that look like an 8. W negative 2 and W negative 3 gives me W negative 5. And then X5 and X3 gives us X8. Okay, now you have a negative exponent. You have to bring it up. Those don't cancel. Technically, that should be in blue. Because it's on the bottom, we have to bring it to the top. Okay, they don't cancel out. And so we have W to the 5th. And then on the bottom, we still have 18x to the 8th. All right, now we can do our final answer. We'll bring it up here. We have negative 10 over 18, and if you don't know how to do that, just plug it into your calculator. You'll get your answer, and then turn it into a fraction. So negative 5 over 9. Combine your w's, you have w to the 10th, and then who wins with the x's, the top or the bottom? The top wins, and the top wins by 1. And there's our final answer. All right, our word problems. So it says that Juan recently bought his first car, which cost $18,000. If his car depreciates every year at a rate of 22%, which equation, so that's all they want the equation represents the value of Juan's car after t years. So the keyword that I see here is depreciates, because that tells me that this is going to be decay. And the decay formula is y equals a 1 minus r to the t. Okay, so we need to know what a equals, what r equals, and what t equals. Well, a, the amount is 18,000. Our rate is 22%, which is 0.22. And our t, they didn't say, so t is just going to be t. So if they want the equation, sorry, the 18,000, 1 minus 0.22 t. So the only thing we have to do is 1 minus 0.22, and we get 0.78. And that's it. They didn't tell us how many years, so all they wanted was the equation. Well, there's the equation. All right, number 11. Michelle invests $15,000 in savings in the savings account in order to save money to attend college. What will her balance be after 8 years in the account of 4.5% interest, compounded monthly? Compounded, okay? They're talking about compounded interest. And that's the formula where it's, here we go. A equals P1 plus R divided by N all over N times, or to the N-th power. Okay? So we need to know what the principal was. That was the 1500. The rate as a decimal is 0.045. And if it's compounded monthly, there are 12 months in a year. And the time, which is 8 years. So let's plug into the formula. A equals 1500, 1 plus 0.045 divided by 12. And on the top, we have to do n times t. So n times t, 12 times 8. If you don't know it, do it. Okay? We get 96, so then we put 96 up top. Now, you can plug all of that into your calculator exactly as it is. 1,500 times 1 plus 0.045 divided by 12 raised to the 96th power. And then you get your answer of 2,148.50 what? Remember, you need to round that. So the final answer is $2,148.55. All right, in the year 2000, a loaf of bread cost 90 cents. If the rate of inflation was 4% every year since then, how much does that loaf of bread cost today? Well, today is the year 2014. Okay, now inflation, that's growth. Okay, so we're going to use the exponential growth formula. We need to know what A is, which is the starting amount, which was 90 cents. the rate, which is 4%, 0.04, and the time. So we need to know the difference between 2014 and 2000, which is 14. Okay? So the growth formula is y equals a 1 plus r to the t. All right? So y equals 0.90 times 1 plus 0.04 to the 14th. And once again, you can just plug that in. 0.90 times 1 plus 0.04 raised to the 14th power. And remember, we need to round our answer that the bread costs $1.56. And there we go. All right, number 13. Excuse me, last one. It says graph the exponential equation of y equals 5 times 1/2 to the x. So when we're filling this out, remember that we always use the same number, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. I like to know what this graph is going to look like. And since the base is between 0 and 1, this represents decay. All right? Now, if you want to do this by hand, which you can do, you would start by writing all of these out. Or you can just plug them into your calculator. You can do either one. Okay, and those are just the rules of exponents. Why don't you pause the video, see if you can fill out the graph, and then we'll get back to it. Okay, so pause the video. Good luck. Okay, and there you go. Now, the ones that we can graph -1, 10, 0, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can graph 1, 2.5. Oh, we can actually graph all of these, and 2 and 1.25. Okay, so when we're doing decay, or any of these graphs, we want to make sure that our line is nice and smooth, and it gets closer to 0, and that you add the arrows. Okay, remember we talked about it. If your line kind of jacks up a little bit, or if you say, hey, Mr. Grice said it looks like a J, so I'm going to make it look like a J. No, that's wrong too. All right, make it nice and as smooth as possible. Okay, guys, well that's it for Algebra 1, Unit 6 review. If you have any questions, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. Otherwise, good luck on your test. Thanks for watching.